Ẹ káàárọ̀ ẹ̀yin àwọn viewers wa, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. Èní ni Ọjọ́bọ̀. Okay, it's not going as well as I expected it. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. Thank you for joining us today. It's the Friday edition. Hence, my decision to start the show with Yoruba, because after working Kiloku, Igbadun Lokun Kamaje, my name is Olive Emodi, and I promise you a lot more serious than this. And for the rest of the show, for the next 3 hours, we're exploring the political landscape and economic state of our country. We'll be bringing to you some of the stories that have been trending in the past 24 to 48 hours, as well as the ones that we've been tracking over the course of the week. My name is Olive Emodi, and you're welcome to Breakfast Central.
Eshe, thank you. I stopped there.
I thought you were going to attempt to show me how it's done.
Eshe, go.
Speak Yoruba. I saw you, ba. Kefi Homi. Boshi Mashe.
Welcome to Breakfast Central. I'm sure it's good to have you join us on a Friday. Apparently, this is the last Friday in the month of January 2026.
So this is the first last Friday of the month. We'll have several last Fridays.
Yes, this is the first.
So this is the first last Friday of 2020.
Wow. And if you look at the time, we were just screaming Dirty December.
And Happy New Year was just yesterday.
And January started, ended. No, this January is fast.
There's
nothing you want to tell me.
You know why the January is fast? Because you have money and they have paid you salary. Shout out.
No, it's not because of that.
If they have not paid you salary,
they paid.
That's how you know rich kids.
Wow.
Rich kids don't know when their salary has come because they don't function according to bank
balance. Tone it down. We're on national TV.
This one that...
Because the stories we want to share with people now on Wake Up Conversation, especially Fridays. Fridays we keep it a bit light and then a bit, incisive. Well, by the way, welcome. We believe that everyone is live with us. If you're not watching or you're about to leave the house and go to work, don't forget you can stream on YouTube. So while on your way, just log on to YouTube and keep following us wherever you go, because we're there with you to bring to you the latest stories. We're going to tell you about a very interesting story as we start off. First of all, news has been agog, especially online, concerning Shore and what he tendered in court. There are stories of him being arrested, and then he brought evidence. And then he tendered Rendo Mokri's video where he was abusing the current president and calling him all sorts of names. In other words, questions are, is Shore trying to prove that him calling the president all sorts of names is not a crime? Because, his lawyers are saying, this is evidence. Somebody called the president names, and now he's now an ambassador and he's working with the president. So why do you say my client is committing a serious crime and so on? Would one day we'll drop on that story, and maybe we'll have Shore join us. But there's also a story of a popular actor who is part of the coup, alleged coup, which is no longer alleged now. It's been made known to Nigerians. The plot to ensure that top officials are executed. Very, very interesting story too. But then again, we'll also look into that maybe today or maybe in the course of our broadcast during the week. But let's start off with our very interesting wake-up conversations. Ollie, by the way, you look beautiful, I must say.
Thank you. Shout out to friends that buy you dresses.
And I'm dressed all important and serious. I mean,
this is Olive in Olive.
Yeah, I noticed.
Courtesy of my lovely friend Ayo. Thank you so much for my dress.
Wow.
Yes, shout out to friends that buy people dresses. But thankfully, she's not the person that has problems with EFCC, and she's buying little from the from the plenty that God has blessed her with. But it's not we're not doing lavish lifestyle.
I can imagine.
Well, if you were wondering why I was trying to bring in EFCC into the conversation,
it is because trending, right?
Media personality Peter Amokeni of Obudu, popularly known as Babagana, has accused the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, of corruption and abuse of power following an operation he claimed took place in the early hours of the morning during the week, around 3 to 4 a.m. in Abuja. Speaking in a video shared on Instagram, Babagana alleged that EFCC operatives moved from Musetu to Duse Axis, went to 2 hotels, obtained master keys, and allegedly opened about 52 hotel room doors one by one in search of a target affecting what he described as several innocent citizens who were merely there to pass time. He contrasted the operation with those of the CID, which he said are usually smoother and more coordinated, arguing that opening multiple rooms indiscriminately reflects poor intelligence and abuse of power. The allegations have since sparked widespread reactions online, while the EFCC has yet to issue an official response. Let's take a look at the video, and we'll come to share what Nigerians are saying.
so I want to feel free today to let you know that some of your staff, some of your EFCC staff, they be thief. Because the same thing where they pursue the Yahoo boys for, so they also pursue and chase them and steal from the boys. Because explain to me how you go pursue a Yahoo boy, you cash him, you can't go corner, go collect money from him. We'll go there. That's not why I've come today, but let me first address the issue why I'm doing this video. Olasa, just last week here, your boys from Use 2 came and carried out an operation in 2 hotels somewhere around Duse. Alleges Hotel and Apartments and the Nino Hotel. They came around 3 and 4-ish a.m. in the morning. And then, in Alleges Hotel, they went in, took the master key from the porter, and then went into the rooms. 52 rooms, sir. They were using master key to open each room, one after the other. They bumped into families, husband and wives, naked for bed. Saw their nakedness. They bumped into people who came in with their girlfriend to relax with nakedness. They bumped into people who came into a hotel to just rest because their head full with Nigeria problem with nakedness. So let me tell you this and say it very clearly. Whatever law that is guiding the EFCC, they make those laws to protect the rights, fundamentally human rights of Nigerians. So wherever you think say on our rights top, Nigerians' rights now there it begin. Because without us existing, the EFCC will never exist. And so you are taking laws into your hands. Those days while we were younger, much younger, we used to hear about the CIDs. When the CIDs come into an area, you know they know them. They go monitor the area. They go do their investigation, do things where they want to do. When they come strike, we know they know when they strike. They just come and pick whoever that they've been monitoring. They take them out. Now, here we go to here say they don't come. These were times that were even analog. Let alone now that we have gadgets, we're in a technological age where you can use technology to do most of these things. But no, your boys will rather want to behave like criminals because they know, say, what is that they can't do so administratively? Office not.
Well, he's talked about the rascality in the approach the FCC has used to exercise their rights to search, to do the, I don't know if I'll call it on stop and search. But that's not the best way. Imagine if I were in that hotel, for example, with my spouse, and the EFCC came and opened the door in the middle. Like, imagine how it's degrading. So there has to be better ways the EFCC can carry out their activities. The truth is, this is not the first time we've heard of this. Several times we saw the video, we even played it on this show. I think it was in Ibadan, where they stormed into a hotel and they were breaking down doors and beating people.
They were beating the reception.
We're not in a banana republic. That happens where there are thugs. You, as a law enforcement agency, the one thing you shouldn't be caught doing is breaking the law, because that's counter. It's the opposite of what you're known for. You're known for upholding the law, breaking down into hotels, trespassing into people's private spaces, keeping them to their right of dignity, to the dignity of human person. These are things that should be spoken about. And again, whenever we hear things like this, I feel like I'm a broken record at this point when I say certain actions keep repeating themselves because there haven't been strong consequences that have been meted against the perpetrators of this act. If I, as an EFCC official, know that there are certain illegal ways to carry out an arrest, and if I try it and they find me out, that's the end of my career, I would think twice before I go ahead to do it.
He said a lot in that video. I think I was opportune to listen to it. And part of the things he said, I mean, they took the MasterCard, they checked 52 rooms. So imagine barging into every room, like you've said, and in my room, I'm with my family, and then you hit the door open and you forcefully enter. I think, first things first, everyone in that room should sue the EFCC.
Of course.
Sue them. Sue the EFCC. I think if the EFCC starts paying in court, another problem is most Nigerians now have lost faith in the judiciary. That's another problem. But we must still
imagine what kind of an impression that would give to somebody who traveled into Nigeria for the first time and is lodged in that hotel.
He said that in the video. It's a lengthy video. I was able to, you know, just watch all of that. And then I went through the comments, and there were some people who were agreeing to some of the things, and people were even sharing their own stories. And part of the things he said was some of the expatriates who are in that hotel checked out immediately.
Of course I will.
And they moved away. And the owner of the hotel is crying now because patronage has dropped.
Of course.
People are no longer lodging. People are saying, oh, so you know the rumor spreads at that hotel where EFCC came. That's one. Two, he also said the EFCC, after barging into all the rooms, went and took away the CCTV and the cameras so that nobody would be able to have evidence. I mean, that's criminality.
So,
of some sort.
Going back to that traveling one, I imagined, because I do solo traveling a lot, and I imagine how unsafe I would feel as a solo traveler. The only one time I tried to use an Airbnb abroad, at 2 a.m. in the morning, I checked out and I went to a hotel because I didn't feel safe in the Airbnb. So that's a huge case against the EFCC. People who came visiting, they already have an impression about Nigeria, about Nigeria's law enforcement being lawless.
You know what he said? There's a part of that video that I think the EFCC chairman needs to respond. He said he's challenging the EFCC chairman, and the EFCC chairman should come out. He's calling him out, that the EFCC chairman should be investigated, and he would like for him to be investigated. That he would arrange private investigators to also investigate his boys, that he's certain that his boys are making money from the so-called Yahoo boys, that he has details, he has proof. But that they should come to an agreement. The FCC chairman should open himself up for investigation, and also his staff, the workers, the FCC members, or call them team, that he's ready and that they will prove it, that these guys are making money from the so-called criminal cybercrime. You know, there's a lot going on. I'm hoping that the EFCC will respond. And just before we take what Nigerians are saying, we'll have to go for a quick break. But before the break, I just want to highlight that there's also a miscommunication that the EFCC is passing out there. And I hope they listen. We had the EFCC media person who said that after that incident happened in the southwest, where they entered and they were beating people in the middle of the night, that they've called them to order and said there will be no more sting operations. I don't know if you remember. He was here, he said it on the show.
Yes.
There will be no more sting operations. They are talking to them, looking into it. But the EFCC chair, in another interview, has said that they are under the ambit of the law. They are allowed to break in and do whatever they have to do. So who is saying what? What is the EFCC holding on to as their rule of law for operation? It's a problem.
I mean, on a much lighter note, I really hate whenever they say they are under the ambit of the law, I think of.
Well,
let's go on a break. We'll come back and take what Nigerians are saying. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We began the breakfast wake-up conversations with the allegation against the EFCC for the unruly way in which it's allegedly stormed into a hotel and burst into 52 rooms. These rooms were occupied by Nigerians. And after this, they were alleged to have carted away the CCTV cameras, so there's no evidence. Now, there have been reactions to this, but before we head to X to get what Nigerians are saying, I'll begin with YouTube to get what Nigerians are saying about this. Mokunye Chikwemeka, good morning. He says, have you heard that these EFCC guys are punished for carrying out these illegal raids? No. their boss has never said anything about their modus operandi, which goes back to what I said earlier. If you knew that you had to pay a stiff penalty, a hefty price for these illegal acts, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it still falls back to the leadership of the EFCC and how the leadership has carried out its affairs. But let's head to X and see what Nigerians are saying about this allegation. No, this is a wrong tweet, please. Can we take this down? This is not about Soludo.
No, we'll get to this story.
We'll get to the... Yes, he didn't learn from Wike. No.
Anyway, let's come back. We'll try as much as possible to sort it out. Let's hope we can sort the tweets out very quickly. I also wanted to highlight that the EFCC chair had made mention that he would resign if the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, is not brought to books. Oliver, as we speak now, Yahaya Bello is heading to Mecca. Yahaya Bello's passport has been released to him. He's traveling out to Mecca.
Anyway, keep your comments coming on YouTube.
I think for us as journalists who sometimes read these stories, write these stories, report these stories, and then come on air to present the stories, sometimes we must call a spade a spade. Do people think that we're stupid? Are Nigerians stupid? That's the question I would love to ask. If I had the chance to be with the EFCC chair, I'd love to ask him, sir, how do you look at Nigerians? We have Nigerians who are so smart up there. They are one of the best in the world. So you cannot paint a picture and people can see that it's blue, but you're coming to tell us it's white. So it's obvious that there's a problem even within the anti-graft agency. They are grappling, they are struggling even internally before they can actually carry out what they're doing. Yahoo boys are not the only boys that you're chasing after. Where are the politicians? Where are those who it's been proven that, see, they have spent money that belongs to taxpayers? Have you arraigned them? Are they in prison? When you ask him, he will tell you, oh, no, the case is still in court. It takes longer. We're looking at it. Yeah, right. Anyway, let's see reactions from Nigerians, definitely. David Fenori says, he tags the EFCC chair, and EFCC says, when I found out you were a pastor, I felt a sense of relief despite my distrust of pastors. Unfortunately, the EFCC's current state reveals your true leadership. Your followers' actions will have consequences, and your legacy will be questioned when you leave. Okay. Project Fix RC says they are becoming a huge menace to society. The innocents are not even spared from their illegal raids. Another point there. Udeme George says, this has gone on for too long. It's a normal thing in Nigeria. EFCC is a branch of the police. So what do you expect? Let's just keep pretending. That's what he says. And we do have a systemic problem, and we must truly address it. The EFCC needs to really come out. And I think it's high time the EFCC, maybe you should have a town hall. If you have a town hall, then you would understand, you'll feel the pulse of Nigerians and understand what you're really doing, if it's working or it's not working. But let's move away to another story now. And this time, let's talk about someone who is talking, and she's talking on social media. Now, the headline clearly says that the Turkish officials are shocked that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's fall made headlines here in Nigeria. And who's saying this? We're talking about Abike Dabiri. Now, in a recent post on social media, she highlighted the reasons why Nigerians, fellow Nigerians like yourself, should stop sharing the video and images of the stumble of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. She said in Turkey, they didn't see it as anything, as it were, in a statement, but they're shocked that in Nigeria, it has become a major headliner, and she's wondering why Nigerians are doing so. There are also conversations as regards to how this impacts negatively on Nigeria's economy, on Nigeria's well-being, on the image of the country, and why Nigerians, especially the young ones, I would highlight that, are indeed sharing this video, especially on X. Olive, I don't know if this is worthy of a conversation. It is, but in the aspect of why is it making headlines?
Well,
she highlighted that, sorry to butt in, that you have presidents, and we talked about this here, they had great presidents who have also fallen. I mean, talk about United States President Barack Obama, former United States President, and name them. There are many of them that they have fallen. So I mean, what is there that Nigerians are making a noise about?
I mean, therefore, if I was a media person, maybe a media aide to the president, the way I would have spinned an article like falling in love with Nigeria. He's falling in love with the country such that he has to go, you know, put himself through the hassle and the stress of traveling, even when it's, I mean, that's just on a much lighter note. I did say yesterday that, to an extent, I didn't think people should have made fun of the fact that he fell, because anybody can fall.
We said that, yeah.
You know, the president is much older. It's understandable. I can understand why they are reacting that way. Do I approve of it? Maybe no. Do I understand it? Yes, I do. And I understand it from the perspective of those who have criticized the president's age. They have said he's much older and should be resting. And there's been a push for us to have younger leaders, how the older leaders should take a step back and allow those younger than them to run for office. The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. But the heroes past are still the heroes present. And they have said that we are the leaders of tomorrow. Our children are the leaders of tomorrow. But the leaders of yesterday have refused to relinquish power. And that's something that's not just particular to Nigeria. It's an African thing, not just even Africa. We've seen it in different parts of the country, and even in America, where leaders are a lot older, and they're wondering, look, once you're over 70, nobody is saying that you can't function and serve your nation, but must be at the highest capacity, because being the #1 citizen will require a lot of traveling. It would require a lot of mental, physical, emotional alertness that age might not afford you at that point. So that would be the angle that a number of people are criticizing this from. There were videos, some clips where you could see the president. It felt like, you know, Erdogan was, yes, holding him. So part of the analysis we've seen are those who believe that he may not be
in physically,
in top shape. But making a mockery of it, I mean, I would never approve of that. Because one, I'm a proper Nigerian. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that applies to me, but I understand that he's much older, and I would give respect to whom respect is due. I wouldn't disrespect him and make fun of him like that.
Yeah, I mean, the points are clear, and I understand Abike Dabiri's stance that, I mean, it shouldn't be done that way. It should be done in a different manner. The SSA also came out to say that it was an iron, or a carpet rather, and the metal that was there that made the president stumble. Nigerians, you know, so there will be different reactions, and there will be rhetorics, and there will be responses, and there will be people, you know, so far so good. Whether you check that people are using AI to make videos of the president dancing. People are using AI to make the president rapping. People are using AI and so on. But the president had said of himself that he doesn't go to social media. He doesn't go there. That they will abuse you. So it doesn't have anything to do with social media. So I can be rest assured that the president is not bothered about what people are saying. He's not. He's focused on the mandate, and he has signed the 9 agreements with Turkey. And with that agreement, I'm sure the president is focused. But
that being said, I'm looking forward to the time when we would actually have much younger presidents, like we see in Senegal, we see in different other countries. Like, it would be great for us to have a younger president in Nigeria. It may not be now, but in the nearest future. But let's see what Nigerians are saying about this on X. And our first tweet this morning: the world media was agog when Biden fell, and no one made a fuss about it. But in Nigeria, APC supporters want us to keep quiet. Why? Who is Tinubu that we should keep quiet? Well, he's your president. My worst set to ever manage a president. Their only solution to damage control is usually to gaslight her citizens. Please, was NTA, AIT, TVC, or Arise News in Turkey? How on earth did we get the new videos of, or did Mazi Tunde not Oyaba left lives? The only problem I have with this tweet is, why did you not put News Central when you were listing those people? Please, next time, make sure you put News Central there. Do we really need Turkey to point out that his misstep, much like Joe Biden's, is harming? Do we really need Turkey to point out that his misstep, much like Joe Biden's, is harming Nigeria's global image, especially when it involves health concerns similar to Biden's, used in process asks? Esoteric says those officials must be in the same club as the late General Buhari. No other government official expressed more shock than him, home or abroad, Esoteric says. Ayodeji Kayode says because they don't know nor care that Nigerians are in pain with leaders who are old enough to take a back seat with their immediate family instead of playing kalu-kalu with destinies of millions. And our next tweet, Ebenezer Akinri Ade says, tell their president to also come to Nigeria and stumble. Let's see if it won't make headline in their newspaper.
Anyway, Madam Abike Dabiri, Senator, let me address her professionally, or Honorable Abike Dabiri, has said that even the Turkish media dismissed the talks about the fall, and they said it's mischievous, that rather they in Turkey are celebrating the pact, the agreement, the MOU that has been signed with Nigeria. So while Nigerians busy are doing that. But then again, Nigerians will react whether you like it or not.
Well, there's nothing that you can do to stop Nigeria.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
He's the number one citizen, and people must talk about it.
And the video is out there. The video is out there.
All right, let's bring our top stories. We have other stories, but keep your comments coming via YouTube. We'd like to take them as we proceed with the show. But let's share with you what the top stories today are on Breakfast Central.
Today on Breakfast Central, our top stories, we'll look at Makoko demolition protest aftermath. We do have one of the protesters who will be joining us. It might be two. You get to find out. Mietiala leaders arrested in Kwara State. Why? Well, there's this conversation of sponsorship of banditry and terrorists. Reps adjourned plenary for 2 weeks. They just came back now. What's going on? MCT and Solidarity March. Why? What's happening? We'll find out. We hear there's a counter one as well. And the newspaper front pages. Every single thing here on Breakfast Central. Stay with us.